Good morning. My name is Francia. I was thinking today that we would go over some basic breathing practices that help us to kind of ground ourselves and come into the present moment. And then we'll go into a little bit of meditation before we go into the sound bowls, sound healing. So let's first start with our upright, nice, comfortable seated position. And just remember that if you're not comfortable in this seated posture, it's going to be really hard for you to breathe. It's going to be really hard for you to follow instructions. So the more comfortable you can get, the better. If sitting on the floor is difficult, you're welcome to sit in a chair, but just try not to sit in a couch where you're sunken in. The spine needs to be as upright as possible. So there needs to be a lengthening from the lower back all the way through the middle and upper spine. And this way the shoulders can kind of hang down and you can let your hands rest at your lap or on your knees or wherever they're comfortable. And so we'll start here in this comfortable seated posture. And at first, what I always kind of do when I first come to seated, especially because I've been doing these long meditations, is I try to kind of move around a little bit in the same way that we move when we are doing our standing postures, where we ground our feet and we move the weight forward and back. It's kind of like that. And you kind of see how your body settles in the center line. And with the eyes closed, it's a little bit interesting to find that center line, because the center line is found through feeling and not through the visual aspect of where you are in space. So once you've created that balanced position and you feel supported and kind of it becomes an effortless posture here. Now you don't have to hold anything up or lift up through chest or draw in through belly. You can actually relax your belly completely. And let's just go ahead and take a few deep breaths. Through the nostrils, we'll breathe only through the nostrils. We'll keep the mouth closed. We'll open the sacred space of our practice with one sound, Om. So drawing the palms together at the center of the heart. Releasing the hands down back to your lap or to your knees. And coming back to that nice, steady breath. We'll begin today with a resonating breath. Oh, good. Rebecca made it. Wonderful. Welcome, Rebecca. You're already muted, honey. We just got started. You're good. All right. So we're going to start with a resonating breath. And so what this is basically we're going to breathe in, imagining the breath comes in through the pelvic floor all the way up through the top of the head. And then we stop the breath there for a moment or two. And then as we exhale, we allow the breath to go all through the body, but this time through the legs and out through the feet. So there's a little bit of a length to the exhale and a little bit of a shortness to the inhale. So I will demonstrate by moving my arm, inhaling, and then the pause, and then exhaling, moving all the way out, full extension out through the feet. And then a little pause again. Inhaling. Pause at the top. Exhaling. Pause at the end of the exhale. Inhaling. Pause. So noticing the inhale is a little bit shorter. Exhaling. Pause. Inhaling. Pause. Exhaling. Pause there. So continue in this way, drawing the breath in from the pelvic floor to the top of the head and pausing. Exhaling, releasing the breath out from the top of the head all the way out to the legs, out to the soles of the feet, out to the toes. Full breath out, pausing there. Repeating. Let's do 3 more. Last one. Once you're done with the last breath retention, then we'll just kind of come back to a natural breath. We'll blink the eyes open, bring awareness back into our space. Good. So this resonating breath is really useful if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling like there's something that's not quite manifesting clearly in your body that's upsetting you or creating a little bit of aversion. This breath brings you back to the present moment, to the reality, to what is. So the next thing we're going to do now is going to work a little bit on stretching out the legs and the arms. So just move this for a moment. And we're going to start with the arms. So let's take the hands behind the back and lengthen the shoulders back, straighten the arms behind you. Just kind of take a moment to notice how this feels. At first, you might feel it in your shoulders deeply, and then after a while, you might kind of just come into this more into your back. But just kind of see how it feels to lengthen up and lift out of the rib cage. And if your elbows are staying bent, that's okay. Try to straighten them as much as possible. And we'll tuck the chin down. Feel how the stretch changes. And then inhale, lift the chin and look up. Notice how that changes. Again, exhale, chin down. Trying to straighten the arms, trying to bring the palms of the hands together. Inhale, chin up. Last one, exhale, chin down. Keeping the shoulder blades moving back towards each other, opening through the collarbone. Inhale, chin up. Up. And exhale, coming back to the center. Good. Go ahead and release the arms. Relax the arms by your sides. Relax the shoulders. Move around a little bit. Good. Now we're going to start with the legs. So let's take one leg forward. I'm going to do my left leg because that's the one that's in front. And just let it open out to the side so that hip is kind of out to the side. It's not straight in front. And then from there, the other leg will just stay tucked under. I'm going to just slightly move forward. I'm just feeling a little bit of an openness in that hip. If this feels too tight, you're welcome to move the foot. So you can either move it closer to your body to make it feel a little bit more intense, or you can move it further away from your body to make it feel less intense. You get to kind of decide here how you want this posture to feel for you. And again, it's not about coming to the floor. It's really just about feeling the sensations of the body without putting judgment on them. So obviously there are pleasant sensations and there are unpleasant sensations, especially when we're moving through our practice. And you want to make sure that as you're feeling these sensations, you notice them as they are without placing judgment. Pleasant doesn't necessarily always mean good, and unpleasant doesn't also always necessarily mean bad. There's all kinds of gray areas there in between. So just notice them, feel them, observe them. No judgment. If you have a little bit of wiggle room to go forward a bit more, maybe you do that. Or if you're feeling like you've gone too far, maybe you straighten up a little bit. And then inhale, slowly come back up. We're going to release that left foot in and then do the other side. So the left foot comes in and the right foot planks on the floor. Remember, the more further away the foot is, the more accessible. You might be able to move, have a little bit more movement in here. But the closer the foot is to your body, a little bit less. And you really don't need a whole lot of space. You don't need a whole lot of room around you to do things like this. It's really more an internal journey when we move mindfully. Where's the tension? Become a little bit of a scientist to observe where the tension is, the tightness. If it's an unpleasant sensation, try to see if you can pinpoint the location, the center place of the unpleasant sensation, and see if you can see how far out it radiates from that center point. Maybe you can describe it. Is it a shooting type of sensation? Is it electric? Even if it's something that's maybe a little bit painful, you can kind of observe that too. And then maybe make little adjustments to see if you can soften that in some way or another. If the sensations you're feeling are pleasant, and just again, the same way that we did with the unpleasant ones, observe them. And then slowly inhale, lengthening through the spine, and then slowly exhale, walking the hands in. Okay, beautiful. Our second breathing exercise, we'll come back to our cross-legged position. And this time I want you to think about when the breath comes in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils, there is feeling that happens inside your nostrils, and we're not usually aware of it. So for this breathing exercise, for this, actually it's a meditation exercise called Anapana, we're gonna notice the inside of the nostrils. And it's a little bit weird because it's like, how do I feel in there? I want you to think about anything that brings sensation to the inside of your nostrils, or maybe even the area above the upper lip. And this could be maybe a cool sensation as the breath goes in, and maybe a warm sensation as the breath goes out. Maybe a humid or dry sensation, or maybe a tingling or a tickling. Just pay attention, just focus, and we'll do it for about 5 minutes. So we have time to really kind of settle in and focus on what that is. And I'll give you some cues along the way. So again, upright, comfortable seated posture, shoulders rolled back and down. Nice tall spine, tall neck. The head kind of nestled and relaxed over the neck, over the shoulders, over the hips. Bring your awareness to that triangular area of your face, the insides of your nostrils, the little area above the upper lip. And you want the breath to be as natural as possible. We're not trying to do what we did before with the resonating breath. We're just keeping the breath very natural, your normal pace of breathing. Start to see if you can feel or observe any sensations in that tiny area of your face. The edge of the nostrils, the inside of the nostrils, that little area above the upper lip. Sometimes it might feel like a little bit of a tingling sensation there, or again, like a little tickle. Might feel like you need to wiggle your nose to get rid of it. See if you can avoid that. Try to make no changes. Just observe. Maybe you can feel the breath as it releases, kind of hovering over that area above the upper lips and upper lip and around the nostrils. Just keep all of your focus, all of your awareness right there in that little tiny spot. If there are other parts of your body that are competing for your attention, you may observe them for a moment, but then come back to that triangular area in the center of your face, inside of your nostrils, the outer rim of the nostrils, the area above the upper lip. Keep your mind alert, attentive, focused. If there are thoughts that creep in to move you away from your focus, again, you may notice them and then place them back in the backdrop like white noise in the background. Focus on that small area. The area above the upper lip, the outer rim of the nostrils, the insides of the nostrils. And if no sensation is felt there at all, that's okay too. Again, we don't judge our practice by how much we can feel or not feel, but it's the intention and the effort that we're putting forth. If there's no sensation, then you're aware that there's no sensation. If the sensation is very light, then you're aware that it's very light. You might notice that maybe the breath dumps in through the left nostril more than it does through the right, or maybe vice versa. Maybe you notice the breath moving through the right nostril more. Maybe you notice that both nostrils are being utilized. Whatever sensations, whatever is happening, attentive, alert, and focused mind. Calm, balanced, equanimous mind. Thoughts can be in the background like white noise. All of your focus, all of your effort is in that small triangular area in the center of your face. Other parts of your body will start to talk to you and give you some feedback. And that's okay. You can always adjust your positioning if you need to. Just always bring your awareness back to that space above the upper lip, the outer rim of the nostrils, the insides of the nostrils. Slowly, we're gonna release that attention. Just let our attention move throughout the entire body for a moment. Imagine you're being showered with your awareness from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Full awareness to the entire body, just for a moment. And then inhale. Exhale, blink the eyes open, bring awareness back into space, the space you're in. Beautiful. So again, that practice about really truly focusing in on one tiny piece of the body allows us to really kind of narrow down the attention. It's a lot easier to focus on one spot than it is on the whole body. Good. Let's do one more movement. We're going to go ahead and do some twists. So let's start with the legs kind of in a malasana position. So remember, malasana is our garland pose. You want to plant one foot by the one hip, other foot by the other hip. Now, the closer your feet come to your body, I find that the more balanced I feel. But if you have issues with the hips, bringing your feet out a little bit might make it more accessible, especially for your back. But you don't want your feet together with your knees out to the side. So you want to kind of have your feet out, just like malasana. And then from here, because we're sitting on our cushion, you should be able to still be seated upright. We're going to bring our elbows inside and just take a couple moments to really kind of adjust yourself in here. So you want to bring your shoulders, your elbows inside, hands into prayer position, lift the chest, draw in through belly. So again, a little bit of the same type of feeling in the inner hips, inner thigh, the groin area. Maybe a little bit more sensation here in the spine, in the lower back. So you can see how that feels for you, Carl. If that's painful, you want to try to avoid any kind of deep pain. But if it feels okay, then you can give it a try. And then we're going to go for an easy twist. So we're going to take right hand down towards the floor, past your foot. So not in front, but a little bit past. And then take left arm around towards the left, and you can just place it on the floor behind you or reach it towards the right thigh. So you kind of create a little bit of a half bind and look over the left shoulder. This is probably the most accessible way to do this twist. Another option is to take that right arm around, and then now you can bind your fingers on the right side. So this will be a little bit more intense, but once you've been able to bind, then it actually makes it a little bit firmer, a little bit stronger, and you're able to kind of hold with a little bit more ease. Keep gazing past your left eye, so really at the left corner of your eye, rotating and twisting through your body. And exhale, slowly release the bind. If you have the bind, release the arms and come back to that center position we were in the first time. Shoulders roll back, steady, easy breath. You want to feel openness. Even though you're coming forward, you don't want to feel like you're crouching. You want to feel that there's openness in the collarbones, in the front. And so this helps you by pushing your knees away with the help of your elbows. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So left arm reaches over. You can take right hand and just place it on the floor. Find your twist this way. Allow your right hand to come back, and then you would bring it to the left thigh here as you rotate the torso. See how that feels for a few moments. I always like to kind of hold here for a breath or two before I go into the bind. And then if you're feeling the bind, perhaps maybe give it a try. So the arm has to kind of twist. So that left shoulder has to do an internal rotation to turn the palm up. So you can get that left arm all the way around. And then the right hand is already there. You can go ahead and grab it, find your connection with your fingers, and then go back to your twist. And then the gaze is going to go as far to the right as possible. It's very easy to lean here. So it's like, you're going to lean over to the side. So try to keep your right foot grounded and heavy as you rotate and twist. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Find your rotation. Sense all of those parts of your body that are giving you a little bit of resistance. Breathe into them. And then exhale, release the bind, coming back to the center and back to our original even posture, malasana with our hands in front. Close the eyes, take a few breaths, and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more deep breath. Inhale. And exhale completely. Good, and then slowly release your hands, release your legs. You can come to lay on your back. And then get ready here for sound healing, but first we're gonna go into a little happy baby. So I won't do it with you just because I didn't roll out my mat today, I just have my cushion. But go ahead and lay on your back and bring your knees into your chest. So when you bring your knees into your chest, you should be able to feel your lower back, a little bit of a stretch here. Just you can hug your knees or you can hold on to your feet. Whatever feels better for you. You can go right into the happy baby if you wish, or just hold on to your knees for a moment, roll around side to side. Give yourself the ability to kind of just feel into your lower back. Good. Nice. And then play with the position of your knees. Have your knees come together tight and squeeze your knees tight into your body, or have your knees come apart and then pull your knees down towards your shoulders. Really kind of play with how hips move in this position. You can kind of keep rolling or moving side to side. Good. Just a couple more breaths here. Giving that lower back some release. And then when you're ready, you can come into the full happy baby posture if you're not already there. So this just means you're gonna open your knees wide, reach down, grab the pinky toe sides of your feet. Try to keep your arms inside the legs and then lift the heels so that your soles of your feet are flat up against the ceiling, kind of pointing up to the ceiling. And the knees are pressing down on either sides of your body towards your shoulders or past your shoulders if you have the flexibility in your hips. And you want to try to keep your tailbone down. Good, that looks good. I see you guys, awesome, beautiful. And as you keep your tailbone down, you want to feel length and flatness in your back. And then again, in this one, you can sway, you can move, you can rock, or you can be still. Yeah, any move is good for you here. This is just a way for us to release the body and really get ourselves ready for our sound healing. Nice. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and release your feet. Maybe come to a constructive resting pose before you go into Shavasana. So that just means bring your feet to the floor so that your feet are apart, but your knees come together. So they support the weight of the legs by bringing the knees together. Then you can bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart, or you can let your arms rest by your sides. And just feel your body completely relaxed here. Allow the tension to just move away. For our sound healing, you can set up however it's comfortable for you. So you can decide to just go into Shavasana right where you are, rest there. You can decide to bring your legs up the wall using an actual wall, or you can use something underneath your hips to keep your legs elevated and comfortable in the middle of the room. So any variation of any kind of these postures, whatever feels right for you, you can go ahead and make your way into that. I just realized I forgot my striker, so I'm gonna grab those while you guys set up. And remember that the intention that we put into this part of our practice is truly about finding that natural way of creating health within the body. Physical health, emotional health, and mental health. So however you decide to rest, see if you can stay in that spot the entire time. Try not to adjust or move too much during the sound healing. And continue to follow your breath. At the end, I will stop and we will have maybe about 2-3 minutes of silence. So don't worry that I'm still here. I just want the sound and the vibration to kind of stay and resonate with it. Begin to bring our awareness to the external part of our bodies. The skin, the hair, nails. And notice how the atmosphere feels against our skin. How the clothing feels against our skin. Come back to this room. Come back to the next conscious breath, intentional breath. Only when you're ready, you may begin to wiggle the fingers, the toes, creating movement in the body, reawakening the body. Allow the movement to spread to the hands, the feet, wrists, the ankles, forearms and the lower legs, the elbows and the knees, the upper arms, the thighs, the shoulders and hips. Feel the belly rise with the next inhale. Feel the belly fall with the next exhale. Feel the weight of your body on your floor or mat. Back of your head on the floor or mat. And as you're ready, you can come to a constructive resting pose like we did before, with the knees bent, feet planted on the floor, knees fall in towards each other to support the weight. Letting your arms rest by your sides, or one hand at your belly, one hand at your heart. This is a good place to come out of. We're coming out of our deep, deep meditation, deep, deep healing. As you're ready, you can bring the knees into the chest, maybe roll in a couple of times, stretch out through the lower back, through the hips. You even lift the forehead to meet the knees, rounding yourself into a tight little C. And then the opposite of that would be exhaling and really reaching your arms up overhead, reaching your legs away. Full extension of the body. And when you're ready, you can roll over onto your side. Make your way up to a comfortable seated posture. Take your time and try to move with as much intention as possible. Not just going through the motions, but really truly moving with each breath, letting the muscles slowly adjust, contract, or relax to get you up into a comfortable seated posture. And once you're there, just take a few more breaths. Maybe you're still feeling the vibrations within the body. And just observe. You will feel all the benefits of our practice for ourselves, for those around us, for our families and friends, for the strangers across the world and on the other side of the street, for all animals, all sentient life on this planet. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. Exhaling, we'll draw the palms together at the center of the heart, closing our practice with one sound Om.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your practice.